It is September 14th, 2021. I believe if you make a mistake, big mistake, meaning going all in whatever sector you chose to, let's say you are all into Bitcoin or any other crypto, possibly all into gold equities, stuff like this, I believe you could make the biggest mistake of your life. This mistake may not be fixable based on the amount of debt we have. And if, like I said, people are so sold on their thesis and they believe they will have plenty of chances to recover in case they are wrong, I just don't think that's possible. Again, based on what central banks, not just Federal Reserve, all central banks, so meaning globally, is happening right now, and what is coming down the pike here with all the debt and everything else that's going on, like I said, you could be wiped out completely. So I will not believe in this time it will be different. And what I'm trying to say is, this is a famous quote from one of the biggest commodities investors of all time, Jim Rogers. That's what he says. When you hear someone says, this time it will be different, run for the hills and don't look back. And a lot of people now are doing so. They are, let's say, if they are speculating in cryptos, which there is nothing wrong with that. It just depends, obviously, what the percentage, what's the ratio of being in the crypto versus cash or other areas, other sectors. Based on what I hear right now, a lot of people are just, I believe, not understanding what is really going on here. And I'll give you two examples. One is Palisades Radio just had, which is a really, I believe, really good channel when it comes to precious metals investments, had John Fennick, a very popular name in precious metals industry. He's been around for a while. He is in the same circle with Rick Rules of the world and Sprats. And when the interviewer asked him, what is the ratio in the precious metals only when it comes to physical versus like equities, meaning like ETFs, junior, whatever, miners, producers, royalty companies, stuff like this. He said 100% into equities, zero allocation to physical. Now, I'm pretty sure John Fennick, if that's how you pronounce his last name, has availability through Rick Rule and Sprats to just get his hands on 100 ounces of physical gold if he really needed it, or whatever the amount. But a lot of other people, me and you, do not. When shit really hits the fan, you will not be able to call up Sprat and ask for the delivery because it will not be there. That's how it's been every single time. And again, to bet that this time it will be different, I think it's a huge risk and very possible lifelong lesson to be learned here. On top of all this, here's another shocking story I have for you, which happened to me. So it's not like I read it somewhere or someone told me. We had a good friend of ours from Las Vegas. He was passing through where we live now and wanted to see the farm. And he was a VP for the Canadian Junior Silver Miner for a long time. Him and the CEO could not be on the same page anymore, so they basically decided to part ways. So now he is, I guess, in early retirement, if you will. And we obviously talked about overall global economy, of course, precious metals. I like to always pick brains from someone like this guy. And he also said, I didn't even ask him, he said that he is, about 6-7 months ago or something, he said he sold all of his physical gold and silver, and he's speculating in crypto and some precious metals equities. He does not want any exposure in gold because cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, is taken away all these gold investors. So he's betting on that this time it will be different. So I'm looking at, okay, so I'm hearing from John Fennick, that's a really big name in precious metals. I got this guy, a good friend of ours, who also said he's a 0% allocation in physical. like I said, I'm finding this. You guys let me know in the description box down below what you think about this. I find this very shocking. It's all I can say on that part. People were direct messaging me on Twitter. They were asking a few days ago, well, let's say if I have $10,000, what would you suggest my ratio should be in the physical precious metals compared to the precious metals equities? I told them, listen, you do whatever you think it's best for you and your family. I know you guys might get annoyed when I say this. Always do your own due diligence. This is for critical thinkers only. Okay, think for yourself. I told them 70-30, and I'm going higher if I can when it comes to precious metals physical. 70% into physical. And the reason is because I'm watching what's happening and what I see it's coming down the pike here. And how am I going to increase the position is I am speculating in some cryptos. I am speculating in other areas. If you follow this channel, you know I talk about different sectors, not just precious metals, and taking profits out and trying to acquire as much physical as I can. And what's even more ironic and crazy, a lot of people like this successful investor, John Fennick, on Telesites Radio, when he mentioned that, I could not believe what he said before and after he made that statement. He's talking about hyperinflation through all this money printing, currency printing. So if you think that we are going into hyperinflation, do you really think your stock going from $5 to $10 a share is going to mean much if that currency cannot buy you anything? Like I said, there's just something here is really off, and I'm just going to stick with basics and what's been working for centuries. So yes, for me to answer a few of you that follow me, I am on Twitter, by the way, at the New America 77. I'm 70-30 and looking to increase. Short-term speculation, I believe there are always ways to make some money and then use that fake money to buy real money with. And I'm also a big fan of now owning land, and I put my money where my mouth is why I own a farm now. So this is, to sum it up, to me very shocking to hear. Just imagine what the average Joes are thinking if this is the case that these successful people are doing right now, basically dumping physical gold. I could be wrong, but I'm going to stick with one of the most successful commodities investors of all time, Jim Rogers. Repeat it again. When someone says this time it will be different, run for the hills and don't look back. Take care. We will talk soon.